Today, Mr. Brad Taylor from The Coca-Cola Company. The Coca-Cola Company is in every country and region of the world except Cuba and North Korea. Probably it will be more difficult to get to North Korea these days, even now. And then after his presentation, please all of you join us to go to the Paces Hall for some drinks. And you have coupon behind in the pocket that you have. The red coupon, each admit one glass. And if you need more, just let me know. We had original design the social cocktail hour in the outdoor on the terrace, but I think you know it's been raining. But you know, some of us who are here, we have no idea it was raining, but it's actually raining. So we have moved to indoor to the Paces Hall. Mr. Brad Taylor is an excellent public speaker, and we can't wait to hear your message to conclude the whole day. Thank you, Mr. Brad Taylor.
Well, good afternoon. I'm just honored to be here after following all those very important people. That's a lot to live up to. I'm a simple guy from Rome, Georgia. I've been at the Coca-Cola Company for 18 years, and we stand for a very simple idea, and an idea that is all about happiness. And so my job this afternoon, very quickly, is to hopefully give you a dose of Coca-Cola happiness that will inspire you. And let me grab my clicker. But really the gist of what I want to share today is really this. How we today at Coca-Cola, and thank you, May, for reminding everyone that we are sold in over 200 countries around the world. And this is really our charge today, is to engage consumers in a globally connected world. And the key word there is connected. And I think you'll understand why that is so important as we go forward. I am a Twitter hound, so I use Twitter a lot, so feel free to tweet me any questions you might have. There's a hashtag there we use a lot, Coke Social, so feel free to tweet away and I'll answer. Let me back up. You're really lucky, right? And it's a good thing you hung around until the end of today, because I'm going to share with you the 5 secret ingredients of Coca-Cola. So, right, that's a huge thing. Well, of course I'm not going to share with you the 5 secret ingredients of Coca-Cola, but I am going to share with you the 5 secret ingredients, if you will, for marketing as we see it in today's globally connected world. And those 5 are these 5 very simple ideas. Number 1 is about storytelling. We made up a word, we call it share worthiness. And as I share some of these examples, hopefully they'll make sense. The idea of listening, but not listening with your ears necessarily, listening with your eyes in terms of what's going on with social media today. We invented another word that we love a lot. We call it flawsome. And that's all about being awesome with your flaws, because every brand has them, and it's all in how you respond when things don't necessarily go the way you want them to go. And lastly, you heard this up here with the previous panel, the importance of innovation. You've got to innovate, innovate, and then innovate again. So these are the 5 things that we focus on for marketing our brands across the globe. I'm going to start with storytelling, and I'm only going to, normally I could stand up here and speak for hours, but we're not going to do that because I stand between you and what we call the happiness hour. So I'm going to touch on 3. We're going to talk about storytelling, share worthiness, and innovation. I'm going to show you some examples of how we do that. Storytelling is so important, and this is a great example of why this is the reason why it's so important. In today's world, it is no longer about the placement of messages. Consumers do not want to be talked to. They want to be talked with. They want you to share stories. They want to share their own stories about how they interact with your brand. So it's no longer about the placement of messages. It's really about the movement of stories. A great example of that, some of you may have seen this, we call it the Coke Happiness Machine. This is a video that we did. We spent roughly $100,000, not a major investment compared to the millions of dollars we have historically spent on producing TV commercials that we then spend millions, if not billions of dollars more putting those TV commercials on the big internet. Or the big TV networks. We spent $100,000 to shoot this video, and then we posted it one time on YouTube. And it's gotten over, and this is a dated screenshot, it's gotten over 5 million views on YouTube. So when I talk about the movement of stories, this is precisely what we're talking about. So let's take a look at the story. So I never, ever get tired of watching that video. You know, Coca-Cola stands for happiness, it stands for refreshment, and it stands for bringing people together. It's always stood for those things. And so it was pretty easy for us to come up with this story. We didn't hire, those are not actors and actresses. Those are real students. We put this specially rigged vending machine at St. John's University up in New York. And we just wanted to capture their reactions. And you saw how they were refreshed, they were happy, and they came together. So that's the simple story that we were telling, and put it on YouTube, and they took it from there, right? And so that's one idea of great storytelling that is share-worthy will actually, it will actually enable your consumers to do your marketing for you, right? And here's why that's important today. Back in the 1980s, it was pretty easy. You know, when I first came into marketing, it was pretty simple, right? You spent a lot of money to buy advertising on the big three networks, and you reached 85% of your target audience, and we felt pretty good about that. The networks were very happy. In the 1990s, things got a little more complex as more cable networks came in onto the TV screen. So then you could start to segment your media buys, and you could reach women, or you could reach men and buy different networks. The 2000s, when the internet really took off, well, that created a whole new layer of complexity, because now you've got internet to reach consumers. But in the 2010s, where we are today, there is a new network in town. And it's not a network that nobody owns. It's your network. It's your network. It's your network. It's the consumer's network that is the most powerful network in all of the world. On average, each of you have about 130 connections or friends on Facebook or Twitter. You have your own network that you communicate with on a regular basis. And you share content with your network. So as marketers, our job is to tap into that network. And the way we tap into that network is with stories. And the reason for that, think about yourselves. Stories are how people connect. You know, during the breaks, or when you showed up this morning, you told a story about what you did last night, or what you did earlier in the week, or what you're going to do this weekend. Stories are quite simply how people connect. Stories are what people remember. Stories are how people learn. And most importantly, stories are what people share. So as marketers, if we're not telling stories, we're not connecting with the consumer network today. Really important. Quite simply, stories are the currency in today's consumer network environment. You heard the importance of mobile technology in India. Not just India. The mobile phone is the future for marketing because it is consumers' most vital device. In fact, consumers are increasingly networked through their digital devices. There are more computers online today than there are television sets. There are more mobile phones, way more mobile phones than there are television sets or computers. And in fact, in a lot of countries, the mobile phone is the computer. You just heard about that in India. And smartphones, we've heard the news. Smartphones are taking over the world. Vital devices. Interesting factoids here. When asked if they would rather give up their mobile phones for a week versus a series of other things, here's what people said. They would give up, 74% would give up alcohol. Now, I'm not going to give up alcohol tonight for my mobile phone. 55% would forgo caffeine, 33% would give up sex, 22% would give up their toothbrush, and 21% would go without shoes, for goodness sakes. Now, I don't know if I would do any of those, but I do know how important my mobile phone is to me, and it is on my bedside table every night. So vital devices for consumers today. So we as marketers have to figure out how do we best leverage those mobile devices to do what? Storytelling, right? Here's a great example of something we've done over in Europe on our Fanta brand, which the Fanta brand stands for more fun, less serious. So let's take a look at some storytelling we've done using mobile technology with our Fanta brand.
This is Joe. This is Joe's friend Matt. Joe wants to play a little prank on Matt using the Fanta voice transformer. The voice transformer is a simple mobile application that lets you anonymously call a friend from your phone. The fun part is that your voice is transformed live while you talk. After identifying himself as a guy, Joe simply selects one of the 4 voice effects to choose from. Then he picks a friend to prank and places a call.
Hello?
Hi, is that Matt?
It is speaking, yeah. Hi, Matt. It's Sophie.
From the Hot Boys Modelling Academy.
Wow, okay.
Just quickly, we've seen your profile pictures on Facebook, and, well, let's just say, you've got it.
What, you think I could be a model? Well, all I can say at this stage, Matt, is that...
You're obviously very handsome, and we think you might have what it takes.
Well, I do get quite a lot of female attention, so... Right, okay. Well, if you can make a...
Meeting tomorrow, a shoot tomorrow for us at the train.
Yeah, sure, yeah. What time?
Probably at our office.
At around 10? Okay, yeah.
One more thing, do bring your swimming trunks.
Yeah, that won't be a problem. I've also got some tiny little pants I can wear.
Oh, yeah, I'll bring those.
Okay.
Definitely bring those, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, all right, Matt.
Right, I'll see you tomorrow at 10. Okay?
Great, great.
That's the Fanta voice transformer. You've been Fantalized. After the conversation, Matt is told on the phone that he's been pranked by the voice transformer, and Joe posts a recording of their conversation on Facebook for all their friends to listen to.
So how many of you guys would like to play along with that? Right? I'm not sure the US is ready for the Phantom Voice Transformer, but a great example, we think, of how to leverage technology today to tell stories that are consistent with what our brands are all about, to inspire more consumers. Our last example today is one of our most recent examples. We talk about innovation. We talk about innovation with the mobile technology and innovating with our partners. In this case, Project Rebrief with our partners at Google. And I think the video just tells the story best. So let me just play it. Teach the world to sing with me.
In Project Rebrief, we've reimagined Coca-Cola's classic Hilltop commercial for a modern audience in the digital age. In the spirit of the original ad, it allows users to connect with strangers by sending a Coke around the globe to an unsuspecting recipient, making the world feel just a little bit smaller. The ad can be experienced on mobile phone apps in Google's AdMob network across iOS and Android devices. Made possible through AdMob-rich media ads, coupled with custom-designed vending machines, viewers can truly buy the world of Coke with a few taps on their mobile phones. A viewer can decide where to send a Coke by selecting one of many machines located around the world, from New York City to Cape Town to Buenos Aires. They can then add a custom text message to personalize their Coke delivery. Google Translate converts these messages on the fly, breaking down the language barrier across countries. A dynamic video with Google Maps, Street View, and composite motion graphics shows the Coke's journey from the viewer's current location to the vending machine across the globe. Users can then wait for confirmation of their Coke's delivery or enter an email address to be notified later. Once the Coke is delivered, recipients are not only treated to the generosity of a stranger thousands of miles away, but they can also say thanks by sending a message of their own back to the user. That message is then delivered to the user's inbox, where they can read the note and view a video clip of the recipient's surprised reaction upon getting a free Coke. A gallery showcases some of our favorite shareable exchanges between people around the world connecting over a can of Coke. Today's technology allows us to make good on a promise Coca-Cola made over 40 years ago, and lets users buy the world of Coke from the palm of their hand.
So storytelling, innovation, all together, right? So at the end of the day, at Coca-Cola, you know, we do want to buy the world of Coke. And we know that no matter who we're trying to reach, and whatever device they may have in one hand, we want them to have this in the other hand. It's really that simple. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed that.